Good afternoon, my friends. My name is Melissa from Melissa's Struggling Walk with Jesus, and I am here on Sunday, October 19th, about 5:10 in the evening, and I am hoping to get through I'm using the Amplified Holy Bible and the Navigator's Bible reading plan to share the Word of God with you, and I am hoping to get through Joshua's chapter 15 through 17 in this video, but we shall see. Alright, so chapter 15 starts out with the territory of Judah, and it says, Now the allotment for the tribe of the sons of Judah, according to their families, reached southward to the border of Edom, southward to the wilderness of Zin at its most southern part. Their southern border was from the lower end of the salt Dead Sea, from the bay that turns southward. Then it proceeded southward to the ascent of Akrabim, and continued along to Zin, and then went by the south of Kadesh Barnea, and continued along to Hezron, and went up to Adair, and turned about to Karka. It continued along to Azmon, and proceeded to the brook of Egypt, Wadi El Arash, and the border ended at the Mediterranean Sea. This was the southern border, where it says brook of Egypt. Hebrew Nachel, Arabic Wadi, is a dry riverbed except in the rainy season. Verse 5. The eastern border was the salt Dead Sea as far as the mouth of the Jordan. The northern border was from the bay of the sea at the mouth of the Jordan. Then the border went up to Beth Haglah and continued along north of Beth Araba, and the border went up to the landmark of the stone of Behan, the son of Reuben. The border went up to Deber from the valley of Acre, and turned northward toward Gilgal, which is opposite the ascent of Adumim, which is on the south side of the valley, and the border continued on to the waters of En Shamash, and ended at En Rogel. Then the border went up by the valley of Ben Hinnom, the son of Hinnom, at the southern slope of the Jebusite city, that is Jerusalem, and the border went up to the top of the mountain that lies before the valley of Hinnom to the west, which is at the northern end of the valley of Rephaim. Then the border extended from the top of the mountain to the spring of the waters of Nephtoah, and proceeded to the cities of Mount Ephron. Then the border curved to Bela, that is Kiriath Jearim. The border went around west from Bela to Mount Seir, and passed along to the northern slope of Mount Jearim, that is Chesalon, and went down to Beth Shemesh, and then continued on through Timnah. The border proceeded to the slope of the hill of Ekron northward, then curved to Shikharon, and continued to Mount Bela, and proceeded to Jabneel. Then the border ended at the Mediterranean Sea. The western border was at the Great Sea with its coastland. This is the border around the tribe of the sons of Judah, according to their families. Now to Caleb the son of Jephunneh, Joshua gave a portion among the sons of Judah, as the Lord commanded him, namely Kiriath Arba, Arba being the father of Anak, that is Hebron. So Caleb drove out from there the three sons of Anak, Sheshai, and Ahiman, and Talmai, the children of Anak. Then he went up from there against the people of Deber, and Deber was formerly named Kiriath Sepher. Caleb said, I will give Aksa, my daughter, as wife to the man who attacks Kiriath Sepher and captures it. And Othniel the son of Kenaz, Caleb's brother, captured it. So he gave him Aksa his daughter as a wife. Now it came about that when Aksa came to Othniel, she persuaded him to allow her to ask her father for a field. Then she rode up to Caleb and dismounted from her donkey. And Caleb said to her, What do you want? Aksa answered, Give me a blessing, since you have given me the dry land of the Negev, the south country. give me springs of water too. So he gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Judah, according to their families and clans. The cities of the tribes of the sons of Judah in the extreme south toward the border of Edom were Kabzeel and Eder and Jagur and Kenna and Dimona and Adada and Kadesh and Hazar and Ithnan, Ziph and Talem and Beloth, and Hazar Hadata and Koriath Hezron, that is Hazar, Amam and Shema and Meleda, and Hazar Gada and Heshmon and Beth Pelet, and Hazar Shual and Beersheba and Bezeathiah, Bela and Iam and Ezim, and El-Tolad and Chezel and Hormah, and Ziglag and Madmanah, and Sansannah, and Lebaoth, and Shulam, and Ain, and Rimmon, in all 29 cities with their villages. In the lowland, Eshtaol, and Zorah, and Ashna, and Zanoah, and Engonim, Tupua, and Enam, Jermath, and Adullam, Soka, and Azekah, and Sherim, and Adathaim, and Gedorathaim, 14 cities with their villages. Zenan, and Hadashah, and Migdalgad, and Dilian, and Mizpah, and Joktheel, Lachish, and Baskath, and Eglon, and Kaban, and Lahamas, and Chitlish, and Gederoth, Beth Dagan, and Naamah, and Makkedah, 16 cities with their villages. Libnah, and Ether, and Ashan, and Iphta, and Ashna, and Nazib, and Kalah, and Azib, and Mershah, 9 cities with their villages. Ekron, with its towns and villages, where it says towns and villages. Other literature has the words daughters. And so throughout this chapter. Verse 46. From Ekron even to the sea, all that were beside Ashdod with their villages. Ashdod with its towns and its villages. Gaza with its towns and its villages, as far as the brook of Egypt. Wadi el-Arish, and the great Mediterranean Sea with its coastline. In the hill country Shemer, and Jedu, and Soka, and Dana, and Koriasena, that is Debir, and Anab, and Eshtema, and Anim, and Goshen, and Holan, and Gola, 11 cities with their villages. Arab, and Duma, and Ishan, and Janam, and Beth-Tipah, and Aphekah, and Hampta, and Koriath Arba, that is Hebron, and Zior, 9 cities with their villages. Maon, Carmel, and Ziph, and Judah, and Jezreel, and Jokdeam, and Zechnoah, Cain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 cities with their villages. Halhul, Bethzer, and Gedor, and Merath, and Bethanath, and Elkon, 6 cities with their villages. Kiriath Baal, that is Kiriath Jearim, and Reba, 2 cities with their villages. In the wilderness that slopes downward toward the Dead Sea, Beth Araba, Medine, and Sekah, and Abshan, and the city of Salt, and En Gedi, 6 cities with their villages. Where it says city of Salt, this is perhaps Qumran. Verse 63. But as for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the tribe of the sons of Judah, were not able to drive them out. So the Jebusites live with the sons of Judah in Jerusalem to this day. All right, chapter 16 is the title is the territory of Ephraim, and it says, Then the allotment for the sons of Joseph went from the Jordan Valley at Jericho to the waters of Jericho on the east into the wilderness, going up from Jericho through the hill country to Bethel. Then it went from Bethel to Luz and continued to Atoroth, the border of the Arkites. It went down westward to the territory of the Japhletites, as far as the outskirts of Lower Beth Horon, then to Gezer, and it ended at the sea. The sons of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim received their inheritance. Now this was the territory of the sons of Ephraim, according to their families. On the east side, the border of their inheritance was Atorath Adar as far as upper Beth Horon. Then the border went westward at Michmetha on the north and turned eastward to Tanath Shilah and continued beyond it to the east of Genoa. It went down from Genoa to Adaroth and to Nera, touched Jericho, and ended at the Jordan. The border continued from Tappuah westward to the brook Cana, and it ended at the Mediterranean Sea. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Ephraim according to their families and clans, with the cities which were set apart for the sons of Ephraim, within the inheritance of the sons of Manasseh, all the cities with their villages. But they did not drive out the Canaanites who lived in Gezer, so the Canaanites live among Ephraim to this day, and they became forced laborers. All right, chapter 17 goes into the territory of Manasseh, and it says, Now this was the allotment for the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph. To Machir, the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, were allotted Gilead and Bashan, because he was a man of war. So the lot was also made for the rest of the sons of Manasseh according to their families, for the sons of Abiezer, and for the sons of Helek, and for the sons of Azriel, and for the sons of Shechem, and for the sons of Hepher, and for the sons of Shemitah. These were the male descendants of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, according to their families, clans. But Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons, only daughters. And these are the names of his daughters, Mahlah and Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They came before Eleazar the priest and before Joshua the son of Nun and before the leaders and said, The Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our brothers. So according to the command of the Lord, Joshua gave them an inheritance among their father's brothers. So 10 portions fell to Manasseh beside the land of Gilead and Bashan, which is beyond the Jordan, on the east side of the river. Because the daughters of Zelophehad, a descendant of Manasseh, had received an inheritance among his other sons, whose inheritance went to their male descendants. The land of Gilead belonged to the rest of the sons of Manasseh. Check out Numbers chapter 36, verses 5 through 12. Verse 7. The territory of Manasseh reached from Asher to Mechmetha, which was east of Shechem. Then the border went southward to the inhabitants of En-Tappuah. The land of Tappuah belonged to Manasseh, but the city of Tappuah on the border of Manasseh belonged to the sons of Ephraim. Then the border went down to the brook of Cana, south of the brook. These cities belonged to Ephraim among the cities of Manasseh. And Manasseh's border was on the north side of the brook, and it ended at the sea. The land on the south side belonged to Ephraim, and that on the north side was Manasseh's. And the sea was the border. They reached to the territory of Asher on the north, and to the territory of Issachar on the east. Also, in Issachar and in Asher, Manasseh had Beth-shean and its towns, and Ibleam and its towns, and the inhabitants of Dor and its towns, and the inhabitants of Endor and its towns, and the inhabitants of Tanakh and its towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and its towns. The third is Nepheth. But the sons of Manasseh were not able to drive out the inhabitants and take possession of these cities, because the Canaanites persisted in living in that land. When the Israelites became strong, they put the Canaanites to forced labor, but they did not drive them out completely. The sons of Joseph spoke to Joshua, saying, Why have you given us only one lot and one portion as an inheritance, when we are a numerous people, whom the Lord has so far blessed? Then Joshua replied, If you are a numerous people, go up to the forest and clear ground for yourselves, there in the land of the Perizzites, and the Ephraim, since the hill country of Ephraim is too narrow for you. So the sons of Joseph said, The hill country is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites who live in the valley have iron chariots. both those who are in Bethshean and its towns, and those in the valley of Jezreel. And Joshua said to the house of Joseph, to Ephraim and to Manasseh, You are a numerous people and have great power. You shall not have only one lot. But the hill country shall be yours, for though it is a forest, you shall clear it and possess it to its furthest borders. For you shall drive out the Canaanites, even though they have iron chariots, and though they are strong.